Captain's log, stardate 55638.9. The expedition has been tasked to complete the survey left behind from the U.S. Sagan on the PXS system. Preliminary results left behind the Sagan show promising results in one of the worlds, so much in fact that Starfleet has already contracted a Trill mining company to begin operating on the 19th planet in the system. The expedition will be remaining in orbit to finish the survey of this Class M world, which seems to be lush with life and exotic rainforests. Perhaps, if time is permitting, a little shore leave after the mining colony is set up. I'm sure some of the crew would like to embark on a little camping incursion once this is over with. However, it would seem that the planet is rich with duranium, dilithium, and tritanium, all of which are needed in the construction of a new starbase called Deep Space Aegis, a few light years from here. After the geological studies of the planet are completed, I plan to turn the attention of the expedition science teams to the wildlife on the surface of the planet for future studies that may have medical and scientific applications. In the meantime, the entire crew has their hands full in the construction of the prehab homes for the mining colony, and once we find a suitable location for the colony, we begin setting up those habitats. With any luck, we will have the mining colony up and running by the end of the week. Needless to say, at least for them place to sleep at for the first 100 of them. While I have some concerns of the mining of dilithium on this world, which seems to have a diverse life on it, and the ecological damage it could bring to it, I have already voiced my opinion and recommendations with Starfleet Command. Our orders still stand. End Captain's log.
All right. Oh, I already threw you in the conference room. Oops. So we'll start the mission in the conference room with the captain getting an update from all departments on the readiness of the colony setup. So I'll leave you guys to roleplay that.
I'm having some technical difficulties with roll 20. Give me a minute.
Boo, roll 20. Boo, behave tonight.
Commander DeGrasse.
I almost thought that was in character.
Commander DeGrasse, how are the construction efforts going in the shuttle bay?
Well, Captain, construction is proceeding. There's been a few hiccups, though, some materials and a few other things, a couple personnel issues, but honestly, nothing that's seriously going to derail any of the construction. We should be completed relatively soon.
Excellent news. Commander Casey, when you get a chance, after we locate the appropriate site, set up appropriate security fields for the colony. We don't want any of the native wildlife to venture into the colony site.
Yes, Captain.
Lieutenant Don, how is your search for a applicable site for the colony?
Sorry, was that directed toward me?
To Nidan.
Oh. Sorry, Captain. It's going fairly well. We've completed our survey and I identified a few sites that would be of interest. Would you like to see the report on the ones that we've identified, Captain?
If you don't mind.
Great. Transmitting it now, Captain.
And you see the report from Nadan's analysis from the Sagan survey, and it does identify a few possible sites for establishing the colony. However, you do want to confirm the results and make sure these are indeed great sites.
Okay, so what would be involved with that? Do I need to make a roll, or is this a captain thing?
When you get in the system, it'll just be a few sensor scans.
I am in now. For some reason, it didn't have me in a few minutes ago.
When you get to the system, you're still a bit of a travel
Oh,
away.
sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you meant into roll 20. Okay. Then in that case, Captain, so we've identified the probable sites. We will, of course, want to do more detailed scans once we arrive, just to find the optimal site.
Understood. Doctor, until a appropriate vessel arrives with medical supplies, I believe we'll have to give up some of our stores for the colony. Though I believe we will be able to resupply at Deep Space 17 once their supply vessel finally arrives there.
As far as I understand it, Captain, that is correct. However, supplying the colony will require us to give up approximately 2/3 of our current medical supplies, which will leave us on the low side, lower than I would prefer. For a trip even to Starbase 17.
I'll keep that in mind. Anything else anybody has to add to the briefing? With that, I believe everyone is dismissed.
And everyone leaves the conference room to go about their free time until you're to report back to duty. So at this point, like I alluded earlier, you guys could do whatever free role play you would like to do. Before you get to the planet in a few hours. Probably around 6 hours is when you're due back on the bridge. So you pretty much have 6 hours to do whatever you want aboard the ship, see whoever you want, talk to anybody, do anything. So if you guys would like to do any of that, let me know who and where. All right, we'll head to the captain's quarters. Captain, you walk in and you see Jazu sitting on your sofa.
Jesse, you're not supposed to be up there. Get down.
And the dog jumps off and runs over to you, and they'll sit right in front of you. Kind of give a quick little whimper.
What seems to be the problem? She kneels down.
And Jazu will come up to you and kind of rub its head against your legs, as if, wanting to be petted.
She returns the gesture and begins petting Jezu. Come on, Jezu, let's take you for a quick walk before my duty shift starts.
Bark, bark.
And yes, she'll take Jezu for a walk around the ship before her duty shift.
Okay. Before we cut back to the captain and the dog walking, anyone else like a scene? Anybody? All right, since we don't have classrooms yet. Oh, you're giving the tour to kids. Okay. I think that makes more sense. Where the bloody hell is the science lab? There it is. All right, Nadan, Miss Harrier and her grade school aged class are in your science lab, eagerly awaiting for you to give them a tour of the science facilities.
Cool. My token in there? Oh, it is. Yeah, it was just too zoomed out. Great. Hi everyone. Welcome to the science lab. This is where we will be helping you with your experiments for your science fair projects. Is there anything in particular you'd like to start with first?
Do you keep any animals here?
We do have some life forms kept in the other room through that door, and I'll point at this one.
And you get the whole expected kid response, like, oh, like as they start looking at the door, a lot of excitement about hearing animals.
Do you want to go in and have a look?
Yay!
We just need to remember, don't touch the cages before we go in. And be very quiet. We don't want to stress out the animals. They like it. They like things nice and quiet, so that they can stay calm. So let's all have a quiet contest when we go in.
And then as soon as you say that, they all start going shh.
Well, that's probably better than excited squealing, so I'll go with it. And I'll go in and show them the animals and the other life forms.
And then one of the kids will go up to one of the cages. What's that one?
That one we don't actually have a name for yet. It's a new one that we found a couple worlds back, so we're studying it to try to figure it out and see what a good name would be. Do you have any suggestions?
What's it do?
Well, you can, as you can see, it seems to be a small predator, which means it eats other creatures. And so, yeah, it kind of hangs out there on its little rock until it's hungry, and then it finds some food, eats the food, and goes sleeping. We call creatures like that, kind of sleepy, and except when he's going to hunt, we call them ambush predators. One of the other scientists in here is better at biology than me, so he could probably tell you more.
Which one's your favorite?
Which one, as in which science, or which creature in here?
The animals.
The most interesting ones to me are the new ones. I like figuring out new things, whether it's how animals live or what a plant or other life form is. We met one a while back that was energy based. That was very interesting. They were sentient though. We don't keep them here. That would be mean. Do you know what
all
sentient
animals
means?
sentient?
That's a very good question, and it depends on what you mean by sentient. All animals have the ability to feel things, sense things from their environment, and respond to the things that they're sensing. But when we talk about sentience, we're talking more about whether or not it understands that it is a living thing, and it understands and is capable of complex thought. So, in short, it would depend on how you define sentience. And generally, the definition that Starfleet uses is it able to think in a complex way?
And with your explanation, you could kind of judge on the little kids' faces that this is kind of going way over their head. They are, 6, 7, 8, 9 at this point.
So, in short, not under the definition that we would normally use. No. But it's also a very complicated question, and Lieutenant Silva would be able to talk with you a lot more about that. He's much better at that stuff than me. I tend to deal more with physics and rocks.
And their teacher will go, children, do you have any questions for the lieutenant? Any other questions, she should say.
Can rocks be sentient too?
There are reported cases. So yes, but not usually.
Have you met any rock people?
I have not, no. I know some of the other ships in the fleet have encountered them.
Can this ship go?
Go to meet the rock people?
And a lot of the kids start nodding with wanting to know that answer.
That's not what we're that's not the job that we were given right now, so not right now. We might in the future, though. But that's not what the captain has told us to do for right now, and what the Admiralty told the captain to do, so. Any other questions? All right. Let's go see some of the equipment, some of the special science lab tools. We can. Does anyone want to see a small simulated warp core?
Yay!
Then-
And you take them to show the class some of the equipment, some of the experiments you're running. Show them a computer simulation of a miniature warp core, or if you have a miniature warp core in the shop.
We might, but I wouldn't necessarily want to let grade school children run amok around it.
A very prudent course of action. And so you probably, you do this until the teacher calls them out to lunch, and they give the disappointed "aw." And then it takes them about 10 to 15 minutes to gather all the children up from running around your lab, and eventually all of them, the teacher thanks you and leaves off to one of the galleys to eat.
Great.
Leaving you with your very stressed out science team.
Yeah. Right. So let's tidy up. And because a gaggle of 30 kids are a magic mess making machine.
That they are. Anyone else like a scene? All right, we'll shoot back to the captain then. Oh, I forgot to message you something, Captain. If I could spell correctly. All right, Captain. You are strolling through the halls of one of the many living quarter decks aboard the ship, and you run into Nozen here. His head is deeply buried in another pad, and he's not really paying attention to what's in front of him.
Good morning, Nozen.
Oh, Ezreal, sorry, I didn't even notice. How are you this afternoon?
Doing fine, my normal, usual routine. How are you doing?
I'm actually having a pretty good morning. Just heard back from one of the professors back on Earth. One of the papers we wrote together got published.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Azrael. Been spending years on this archaeology paper. It's nice to finally see it in print.
Um, you haven't really mentioned it before, but do you mind telling me what the paper is about?
Oh, not at all. About 5 years ago, before I joined the civilian corps for teachers, I was doing some archaeological research on Beta Prime. A old archaeological ruin site dated back to about 100,000 years ago.
Sounds fascinating. What sort of culture do you think was existed there at some point?
Best we can tell is that they were a primarily hunter-gatherer culture, and yet they still managed to achieve, there's evidence that they still managed to achieve space flight. Several of their archaeological ruins show pictographs of launching crafts into space. It's really quite fascinating. If 100,000 years ago hunter-gatherers were able to do this, this might change our understanding of what it is to become a spacefaring civilization.
Intriguing hypothesis. Kind of disagree with it, but I look forward to reading about it.
I have a copy of it right here, if you'd like to take a peek.
Sure.
And maybe you could give me your thoughts on it, since you voiced a disagreement. Perhaps I could pick your brain about that.
Sure.
Perhaps over dinner?
Why not? I'll see if I can't read this today, but I do have my hands full today, so I will try to study up on your paper.
Oh, right. I heard some of the crew talking about the new mission coming up. How's that going?
Well, we haven't started yet, so but if there is an emergency, I think you'll know.
Sorry, was that Captain? You cut out on my end.
We haven't exactly started yet, but hopefully it'll be a long process before we're finished. But if there is an emergency, I'm sure you'll know about it.
Well, it's nice running into you again, Ezreal. Don't let me keep you. I know you're very busy.
No, I'm just taking Jesse for a walk before my shift.
Yeah, I should really get back to the classroom. I think And he hits the wall panel to check the time. Yeah, I think lunch is almost over for the students. I should really get heading back.
Well, until later tonight.
I look forward to it.
And she just kind of smiles and walks back to her quarters with Jezu.
And he walks the way he was heading back to the classrooms. All right, back in the mess room, in the mess hall. Mendrock, you walk in, and it's around lunchtime, so there's a lot of officers and stuff in the royal mast. It's busy. Everyone's eating, having a good time.
Yep.
I'm not sure. Probably Nadon's not here.
I have a chair. And
And Kai comes up.
oh, hello. How are you?
Hello. What the hell's your rank?
She's a civilian.
Hello, Commander. Yeah, no. Hello, Commander Mendrock. What can I get you?
I would like a cheeseburger and a side of fries and a milkshake, chocolate, to wash it down. I brought these for you and hand her the bouquet.
Come on, Google. Don't let me down now. Really? You're not going to give me the Latin name of this? Come on. You suck, Wikipedia.
I just read Praxis.
This will work, I think. Rosa Stellata. What is your intentions, Commander?
Asking you on a date?
I see.
Although
So it is a romantic encounter you intend.
not not necessarily, no. Get to know you better, and then proceed from there. I'm in no rush.
And what would we do if I accept?
Should have dinner. Should have see one of these movies I heard about. Yeah, I wasn't sure if she is.
Liberated Borg, so I'm trying to play it as such. It might
Yeah.
take me a bit to figure out this character.
Yeah, I know she's full. I mean, she's liberated, so she's probably still full born. But it's also an interesting engineering technology idea, too.
My study of human dating rituals indicates that dinner and a movie is an acceptable first date.
Okay. I'm not usually this forward, but I am interested in you. And nice to have a diverse. I say have more diversity here on the starship. I'm a little nervous, as you can probably tell.
Yes, I have noticed your heart rate and blood pressure increase by 5% since you've entered.
I am getting better at social interactions, having done more with the crew. But this is a bit of a step for me. But I hope at least you'll consider it.
Very well, I accept this proposal of a date.
Oh, excellent. Well, when you know what your work schedule is like, feel free to reach out to me, and we can arrange a suitable time for this date to happen. I will, of course, be interested in what cuisine you might be open to.
I will forward my schedule to your personal counsel. Is that acceptable?
Indeed, it is. Thank you.
Very well, I will look forward to this evening.
Splendid.
I will be right back with your order.
Oh, take your time.
I think I did an all right Borg there.
Yeah. Mindrago wipes his brow with a napkin as he is a little nervous and breathes more relaxed as he awaits his lunch.
And a few moments later, she comes back, gives you the order, just lays it down, and then goes back to waiting tables.
Yeah,
It's almost like it didn't even kind of phase her.
yeah. And I'll eat and just kind of, glance around, see if there's any interesting gossip going on or anything. Otherwise, I'll just kind of mind my own business.
All right, and we'll move on to the last scene. Cannot delete Jazzu for some reason.
Is Jezu on the map layer?
Let me see. Yes, it is. That would be why. So the teacher Julie Harrer is currently eating lunch in the Arboretum. Taking in the sights and sounds of the newly built Arboretum aboard the expedition. Maybe.
Wait, is this my cue?
I mean, it could be.
I guess Casey will walk in. Yeah, Casey will walk in with his lunch, but he's awkward, so he'll go sit at a completely different bench and eat in silence.
So what are you doing at the bench?
He will also be eating his lunch, but like he won't say anything. You know what I mean?
Are you staring intently at your lunch, trying not to draw eye contact with anyone?
Yes.
So she will see this, kind of give a pretty loud laugh that you hear, and she'll yell over at you. How the hell do you say your name again? Arnold?
Arno.
And she'll kind of say, Arno.
Oh, Julia, I didn't even notice you there.
I could tell you, you must really be focused on that sandwich of yours.
Well, it is made with the best salami that I brought myself from Earth.
And she'll eventually come over and sit with you. Surely you didn't come to a place like this to eat by yourself.
Well, suppose I don't hear very often at all. Eat here very often at all. It is quite nice, though. I should perhaps come here more often than I do the holodeck.
Yeah, there's just something about real living scenery that beats any holodeck. Just to smell that nice fresh air from the trees. The small hint of water in the air from the lakes.
Yes, it's quite almost indescribable. I grew up on a homestead and spent most of my upbringing outside. When I first got posted to a ship in Starfleet, I made an utter fool of myself as I simply couldn't adjust to having walls on all sides of me.
I'm sure you must really enjoy being able to go on away missions.
Well, one of the advantages of being chief security officer is that I'm on nearly every single one. I've lost count of how many worlds I've set foot on.
What's your favorite planet you visited?
Well, that's an extraordinary question. Not something I guess I've thought about terribly much. I mean, most of the time when I visit a planet, it's because we have a mission, and only a few I've been able to truly explore on my own, but I suppose you could say Earth. I grew up on a colony, and I didn't visit Earth until I went to Starfleet Academy.
San Francisco Bay is beautiful.
Indeed.
Do me a favor, Arno. Next time you get the chance to head down to a planet, take a few moments to really take in the experience. Be a shame if you get to do all these amazing things and you don't take a chance to enjoy it.
That's some quite pertinent advice. I believe I'm set to be on an away mission rather shortly. As I'm sure you're aware, we are planning on setting up a colony in order to establish a new starbase on this region. With any luck, I'll spend a good amount of time on the surface. I suppose I should be grateful for these opportunities.
You should, because you never know when they might stop.
Indeed, an ever-present possibility as a Starfleet security officer.
Wonder if I should petition Habar to potentially allow me to take my class on a field trip.
A field trip? Well, the security arrangements for that might be difficult, but I could try, if you could convince the commander. I'm sure some fresh air would do the children much good.
And as soon as Casey finishes that sentence, the commander, in earshot at this point, overhears his name being mentioned.
Ah, yes. Did I just hear my name?
And she kind of chuckles. We were just talking about you, in fact.
Ah, only good things, I hope.
Well, that depends. I might be petitioning you, Habar, to maybe allow my class a bit of a field trip.
Really? Planet side?
Well, we were working with Lieutenant Nadan for some hands-on scientific study. What better way to give them practical experience?
DeGrasse kind of looks around. Well, they do seem to take some time, and they seem to enjoy walking around the Arboretum a little bit. Well, I'll tell you what. If we find out that the surface is safe, there's no contaminants or dangerous animal plant life, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, Habar, my students would just love that. Am I saying your name right, by the way?
I think it's usually Haber, but either
Haber?
way. Yeah.
You guys
so
might need to put phonetic spellings in your names.
No worries. So DeGrasse looks at Casey, says, "So, Casey, will you be providing security for this field trip?" Kind of ribbing him a bit.
And she'll look intently at you at this point, Casey.
I am sure I could spare some officers.
Disappointed, she say, you won't do it personally?
Well, I mean, if I can take a moment to spare from taking in all the views. I hear the planet is quite beautiful, but yes, I suppose I could clear part of my schedule.
There's not a day that goes by where one of the killed children does not mention your presentation, Arno.
Really? That's quite astonishing.
You seem to have made quite an impression on them.
I hope they don't think that I will still be teaching them how to shoot a phaser.
Well, Casey, based on this conversation, it seems like I might need to add some teaching duties to your roster.
Teaching children.
Seems
Me?
like you might have a talent for it.
Never really thought of myself as much of a teacher. I suppose I always assumed children would be scared of me.
I know, Haybar. Are you sure he's up to the task of educating children?
Well, maybe not full education. That does require a lot of training and abilities, as you demonstrate. But given the children received his presentation rather well, I don't know. It might be useful to have such an esteemed colleague as Casey visit the classroom from time to time. You know, engage the students and sort of be a bridge. Casey, of course, I'll leave that up to you.
Well, I would certainly consider it. I'm not sure what subjects I would be qualified to teach. Perhaps phys ed.
And as you two are talking, the Julia's data pad goes off. Oh, look at the time. I'm sorry. I have to get back to class. The children's lunch is ending soon. Thank you again, Arno Haybar. And she hurriedly packs up her lunch and starts heading toward the door in kind of a hurry. You know, she is running late. Leaving the two of you.
Well, Arno, I have to admit that, like a good teacher, I'm not sure that I necessarily see you as a full teacher, but any way that we can maybe get you down to the classroom a little more might be beneficial. I know Julius certainly wouldn't object.
What an unusual lunch. I walked in here to eat my salami sandwich, and now I'm teaching grade schoolers. Why, I must be sure not to take on too many responsibilities. Might impact my workout schedule.
True. Well, as I said, I would leave it up to you. But if you're interested, we can certainly work some time into your schedule.
I will certainly give it some serious consideration. Although I do believe that I'm needed. I have a meeting with Chief Edmonds in preparation for our arrival at the colony site.
Oh, by all means.
Thank you, however. And what do you say about the holiday later this week?
No, it's still on. Just try to go a little bit easier on me this time.
I'll try. case you will exit.
Doc, do you have anything you want to run?
Not really, no.
Okay, because role
I
play.
picture him.
Sorry.
Yeah, I picture him more in the med bay packing stuff up, ready to offload, because he is packing up 2/3 of the medical supplies.
Cool. Yeah, because this took a little bit longer than I thought it would. So we'll go ahead and jump to the bridge. It's the start of everyone's duty rosters. You are taking the later shift because you're arriving at the planet later. And we'll go ahead and a little bit of a speed up. Everyone is at their stations, and you just drop out of at the system.
Helm, standard orbit. Lieutenant Egon, begin your survey. Let's see if we can find a suitable colony site.
Aye, Captain.
All right, Nadan, I'm going to give you the initial system information. This is what you had pulled up and what you scanned as soon as you entered the system. I won't make you roll for it.
Very neat. I will make note of the trinary star system and make a mental note to spend some time studying how it's the orbits of the 3 stars are stable later.
Awesome.
Just purely personal interest. So I'll do that on my own time.
I mean, if you want to, I could give you a roll while you're on the way to the planet.
Sure.
Go ahead and give me a reason science diff 1, assisted by sensor science, so I guess it'll be diff 0. All right, you just need the ship's sensor science. Help you guys build a little bit of a momentum pool here before the real fun begins. All right, 3 momentum gained in total. All right, Nadan, as the ship's moving, you train some of your sensors on the trinary. You know, curiosity is getting a better view of how it's maintaining a stable orbit. So the largest star in the system is the O-type star. It's a very large star, like one of the largest recorded. And then you have the F-type and the K-type. So the O-type, kind of has a small orbit, and then the F-type and the K-type are also stuck in each other's orbit. So all 3 stars orbit in a circle around a center of mass or a center of gravity. And so the O-type and the F and K are kind of stuck in an orbit, but the F-type and the K-type are kind of orbiting each other, if that makes sense. So both of those planets kind of have their own mass that they kind of circle around, and then all 3 of them orbit each other, if that makes sense.
Cool.
Hopefully it does.
Yeah. That's neat.
Without a diagram, it's a little tough. But yeah, the O-type is locked in an orbit with both the F and the K, and then the F and the K are in orbit of each other.
Cool.
And that's how they don't collide.
So yeah, then I'll go ahead and do the scan of the planet for the sites.
All right, this will be all the same disciplines and such, except this one is a base difficulty of 2, so a difficulty of 1 ultimately.
Okay. I will not spend any momentum or anything. Click. And then starship action.
You don't have any applicable focuses for this, do you?
I have geology. Does that count?
No, I was thinking like sensor operations or something like that.
No. I probably am. When I get around to spending my banked momentum, gonna swap out one of my focuses.
All right, so you gain 2 more momentum out of that.
Cool.
Is ultimately a base difficulty 1. So I think that puts you at 5. And there's all the information on the planet.
Oh wow. So
I
Captain,
guess I gave you all of it, but
yeah. So Captain, it appears that we, if anything, we underestimated how resource rich the planetary crust is. It's about 90% a combination of dilithium, duranium, and tritanium. And there's a dense jungle in the southern hemisphere, which seems to have the highest concentration of these resources. I would guess it's related to past meteor impacts, because the other rocky planets in the system show signs of past meteor impacts. The ones that don't have a biosphere to kind of conceal the craters.
What about the other hemispheres? Most of the land surface in the southern hemisphere of the planet?
Jim, how are the continents distributed?
so it's probably about 40%, I would estimate, of the planet's surface is land mass. Jungles appear to be mostly centered around the equators of these land masses, eventually moving to forested regions, then plains toward the northernmost parts of the continents. Low levels of ice at either pole, but you do read that the planet's temperature is a little bit warmer, so it's not as icy, which would explain the tropical forest and the forest in general. So that'll be question the first.
So I'll relay that to the captain. It seems about 40% of the surface is land with a mixture of forest, jungle, and ice cap biomes, among others. But forest and jungle seem to be the dominant two.
No sign of any civilization, primitive or otherwise, on the surface.
I'll run a scan for any apparent sentient life forms.
No need. There's no advanced life forms past like a predator.
No evidence of advanced or sentient life forms, Captain.
What sort of life forms are we dealing with down there?
I will.
So it'd be like your typical rainforest. You have your large game animals, you have your predators, you have your thousands of birds, millions upon millions of different species of insect, various plant lives, maybe a few primate species, like marsupial in size.
Okay. I'll relay that. It's quite diverse, Captain. It seems that there's the ecosystem appears to be well developed with no no evidence of obviously empty niches. Wide variety of game, flighted animals, and plant matter, as well as predators. So. With my geology focus, can I determine when the most recent of the big collisions that would have deposited the resources occurred?
For a momentum.
Sure, I'll do that. Seems that the last large impact that dropped a lot of resources on the planet would have occurred about 500,000 years ago, Captain.
How frequent do you think impacts occur on this planet?
Another momentum.
Sure. Our risk is very low, Captain. There's nothing. There's no bodies in the solar system that are expected to be on a collision course with the planet in the near future, or the foreseeable future, for that matter. It seems that the gas giants in the system have done a good job of basically absorbing all of the debris that would likely cause impacts of significance.
Very well. Begin your search for a suitable colony site.
Hi, Captain.
We'll give you the same scan. This one will be a difficulty 2.
Base 2? Or
Base 3, but after all the stuff, it'd be a diff 2.
Okay, I will spend 1 momentum to gain 1 die.
Would testing a theory apply?
Yeah, I
Ooh,
think
good
so.
point. Okay, then I get a freebie die if memory serves. Let me just quickly pull up. I have the document open. Thank you for spotting that, Captain.
Don't leave it to the GM to remember what everyone's traits are.
Yeah, so the difficulty is reduced by 1.
So it's a diff 1.
And also, testing a theory has its own, because I have theory into practice as well, and that fires whenever testing a theory fires.
Yep. So it's a diff 1, and then you get to roll 3.
Yes. Correct. So then back over here. Okay.
And just need chip. Finally, there's not a 1. You can bank 2 momentum out of that. Nadon, your geological survey now, which is probably what this is, so you wouldn't have hit anything. But your survey of the planet and the best deposits would probably put it in the near the jungle region in the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
That seems to be where the most concentrated, in terms of square kilometers, that is where it is like the densest. You know, like it has the most minerals are in that region.
Right. I will highlight that site. Are there any exceptionally hazardous fauna there?
Not that you detect.
Okay. So yeah, I'll bring that site up on the screen and say, Captain, it appears this site is suitable from a safety profile and also has the densest concentration of resources. So that this would be my recommendation.
Understood. Commander, assemble a wait team to begin a ground survey of the location. Make sure the area is suitable from visual observations as well as any equipment you need down on the surface.
Understood, Captain. Okay, so let's see here. I'll take. Let's go with Casey, Nadon, and Doctor. Are you down for a quick field trip? All right. Well, in any case, we'll probably want to take a medical person. So let's see here.
Sorry, did you hear me?
Nope.
No, sorry.
Oh, okay. I said yes, I'd be down to go down.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Casey, I don't know. Would you recommend an additional security person, or I'm kind of thinking a light crew, at least for initial survey work. But
There's not expected to be any hostile presence from what I know.
okay.
Perhaps just equipping everyone with Type 2s. But if you would like, I could call on Petty Officer Chicago.
No, I don't think that will be necessary. And remind me, are we also supervising construction at this point, or is it just site survey?
Well, the initial orders is to just make sure it's safe, and then that's probably coming later today if the captain okays it.
Okay, cool.
At least that's the gist I got from it.
Yes, the orders are to beam down, assess the area, survey the land, make sure it is suitable to build the colony at, and then we go from there.
Okay, cool. Well, Mendrock, looks like we'll be taking you potentially later when we actually do construction. But yeah, let's go with the light crew.
No problem.
Yep, let's just go with the light team and just those four.
Okay. I'll go ahead and waive the transporter cost. Is there anything special you want to bring? Or just standard equipment?
Yeah, actually, let's go with type 2s, just in case.
I think they're standard.
Oh, they are? Okay.
It's the type 3s that are not, but those are the rifles.
Gotcha.
They're not. I think they're standard for any character over the rank of lieutenant, but I think you can. There's no escalation costs if you want to get one.
Real quick, what is the air quality like down there?
Oh, it's perfect.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. It would have came up on
There's no
scans if
air.
it wasn't. Yeah, it would have came up on scans if it wasn't. I'm not trying to make it too complicated on you guys because the air quality of the planet is not the major thing you guys will be dealing with today.
That might sound ominous. Yeah, actually, Prax, I think you might be right. Let's take another security officer, just in case. Let's take Shachakrath along with it.
Probably want to take Jin. All I'm saying is that because she's Endorian, going to a much more warmer climate.
GM, do we anticipate any issues with that?
Sorry, with what?
Taking Andorian to this planet.
It could be.
Okay. Yeah, let's take Chung.
It's like a tropical jungle. It's hot. It's humid.
Gotcha. Yeah, let's take Chung instead.
It's either that or Kota. Kota's more developed, but
Yeah,
Chung
we can
deserves
give
some screen
Chung
time.
some time. So.
Mendrock, do you want to play the extra security supporting character?
Sure.
All right. So if you guys have all your equipment gathered, we'll go ahead and beam down to the planet. If I can find my transporter. You know what? I'm just going to use the colony just because. So this is what you beam down to, just not the buildings. The buildings are not there yet.
Okay, team. Well, let's begin a site survey. Nidan, if you could do the honors, start scans. Casey, if you and Chung could survey the area, maybe go out, I don't know, initially 100, maybe 200 meters, begin to take a look at things. Doctor, you and I can walk around a little bit, see what's what, and then we'll go from there.
Alrighty, I'll get started with the
Understood.
scans.
All right, so what's everyone doing?
Casey's gonna look for like where the security perimeter should be set. Like just what's sort of the most defensible area within the colony site. Start figuring that kind of stuff out.
Okay, go ahead and give me insight security. We'll make this a difficulty 2.
Observation is a focus.
Sure.
Take a threat.
Forgot to give myself threat. You get a momentum out of it. Casey, working with Nadine and cross-referencing her scans and your scans of the area, there is a nice flattish area in which you think would probably be the best place to build the colony. At least it'll be easier terrain-wise. And you're kind of nestled in this little valley. So one side, here's kind of like protected from, by the mountains. You have a cliff over here, a large hill over here. So the forest kind of walks back in this direction. That's probably where most of any wildlife or predators are going to come from. Kind of like where I'm clicking. And then from the hills over here. There's a cliff line here, and then the mountain range in the back.
A quick question, I guess I might have missed this. It's like, are we supposed to set up a security perimeter like now before the colonists arrive, or will that be part of the construction?
Part of the construction. Setting up like defensive grids, shielding.
That's what I thought.
Things, yeah, that's going to be part of the construction. But I think you're doing like a security sweep, like, where are the predators? And in that regard, you don't detect any predators close to location yet. What's everyone else doing?
I'll be doing the more detailed geological survey and taking both scans and samples of the area.
All right. Give me a reason or insight with science, difficulty 3. You probably will have a geology focus.
Does the previous tasks apply as a...
It probably will. Because it's a continuation of studying the geological formation and stuff, so I would say probably does.
So then the difficulty is decreased by 1 and I get an extra die.
Yeah, so it'll be a diff 2.
Cool.
All right, gain a momentum. So Nodan, your current location is you're actually nestled inside the impact crater of a large asteroid that struck the planet probably close to 400,000 years ago. The where you are standing right now, you could make like, it's very, very flat from the impact, and you could make out a little bit below the dirt surface that formed over years of erosion. Some, like diamond formations and glassification that is typical with an asteroid impact. The ridge lines and the hills that were created from, you could estimate probably about 30 years of sustained rainfall. Again, most likely associated with the impact. It probably caused the planet to heat up, caused widespread evaporation, and it just caused a lot of rain that weathered the hills and the plateaus in this area after the asteroid impact. And then, of course, the forest grew around it because the conditions it's the correct conditions for a jungle environment. So that's why the jungle grew around it.
Cool. And is the bedrock here geologically stable?
Stable, yes. You also notice that there are a few cave and cavern sites with openings inside the mountain as well. Again, from rain erosion.
Neat. So I'll point out the caverns and say the site appears to be geologically stable, Commander.
Excellent. That's good to hear. Dross will scan the area. About how far away would Casey be?
During his skins, I'll put him over here. A few hundred yards.
Okay.
Probably with his security officer, maybe. Or the doctor. Somebody went with him.
One of those two.
With Commander. Following whatever he wants me to do.
Doctor, what were you doing when you came down?
Mainly I was testing for any airborne contaminants or things like that could be harmful to humanoid life.
Give me reason or insight with medicine. I'll make this a difficulty 2.
Okay, it's going to be a reason medicine. With a focus in infectious diseases or genetics.
Yeah, I'd say yes.
Okay. And I'll spend a moment. Well, it's a difficulty 2, right?
Correct. You have 6 momentum, so
Yeah, I'll spend a momentum.
you could probably afford to use it. Nadana's been kicking ass with her rolls today.
Yeah, I know.
You gain 2 out of it, so you have a float. So, Doctor, you're not noticing anything with the plant life. It's very typical of a rainforest back on Earth. There's nothing poisonous. None of the plants are poisonous. The pollen is bearable, so you won't have to worry about allergies. However, you are noticing that this particular forest, with the amount of rainfall it gets, has an unusually high number of mosquito-like insects. Meaning they bite mammals to use their blood for whatever mosquitoes use their blood for. Was it for food source or whatever?
Okay, can I spend a momentum to gain extra information about these mosquito-like creatures, whether they have any like viruses such as malaria and things like that?
You like high or low, Doc?
I'm feeling high.
You do detect that a few of the species do carry a type of malaria with them. However, you do not see
Okay.
any reason why the standard treatment would not work on it.
Okay.
It would just be a case of replicating enough for everybody.
Yeah, I gotcha. Hey,
And speaking of
Casey, you
which,
might want to make sure those.
I'll spend some threat here. Can everyone give me a fitness medicine? I'll make this a difficulty of. Let's make it a difficulty 1. I'll be easy on you guys for now. Oh no.
I knew that was gonna happen the moment you said that you were gonna, or that I was killing my rolls.
Oh no, DeGrasse. Oh no.
Sure.
Yeah, don't worry, Nadine. I'm right there with you.
Survival for focus?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Finish it out.
Especially since I was in the process of telling him, don't let those. Oh boy. Okay, good.
All right, then I just need Chen to roll.
Oh, he went. Okay. I'll get it real quick. Well, he's still a little green. Said fitness medicine.
Yep. Difficulty 1.
No focus. You know what? There's momentum. I'll buy a die.
Chen didn't even need it. All right, so Casey, the doctor, and Chen. All 3 of you, you do feel after a few minutes of being there, probably about after 10 minutes, that you do have a number of mosquito bite, but you're otherwise unaffected by them. Nadine and DeGrasse, however, you also feel yourself about 10 minutes in having mosquito bites, but the 2 of you start having really bad reactions to the bites. The bites become very, very itchy. They become puffed out. Near the bite sites, you start to have hives. And the itchiness and the hives seem to be spreading.
I would imagine it's very, very bad for DeGrasse.
Well, both of them. They're both Trill.
It's only joint Trill that have the issue. Regular Trill don't.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, so Nadon, yours is not as bad, but DeGrasse, yours is probably on the moderate to severe side.
So DeGrasse obviously starts itching his exposed skin, and then at a certain point starts wheezing a little bit as the allergic reaction kind of takes hold.
Is the doctor within eyesight?
Probably not, because it's a pretty dense forest.
That's what I was afraid of. Okay. Basically, turn to Casey and go, not get bit by any more mosquitoes. Those things have a strain of malaria. Not all of them, but you get vaccinations together right now. At least the 5 of us.
Thank you for letting me know. Will it be easy to produce enough vaccinations for all the colonists?
Easy enough. Yeah. Should be fine with just the standard medication that was used for malaria even years ago.
All right, so you all eventually finish your scans, probably about 20 minutes later. Doctor, you and Casey come up to DeGrasse and Nadon, and you can just see it that DeGrasse's hives has spread pretty much to his face.
Oh, good grief. And he's going to try and
Antihistamine.
antihistamine and some type of other anti-inflammatory.
All right, go ahead and give me, I'll make this a single roll for both of them. Go ahead and give me a daring medicine difficulty 1.
Oh, good grief. Emergency medicine as a focus?
No. I don't think this is too much an emergency yet.
Xenobiology.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. And you said diff
1.
2?
Difficulty 1.
Okay. Okay. Let me get 1 momentum. Oh, I'm glad I did that.
Yep, you needed it. You get the momentum back. And you're able to hit DeGrasse and Nadon with the antihistamines, and you see it instantly start to work. DeGrasse takes slower to work because he's further along, but it eventually gets there.
Oh, thank you, doctor. The itching was driving me nuts.
It's fine. We probably need to get back to the ship, not immediately, but soon, because some of these mosquitoes carry a strain of malaria. I'll have to make sure we're all properly vaccinated and everything like that. But, I'll even have to make sure that the colonists know about that as well.
DeGrasse will rub his neck and just be like, thank you, Doctor. Please see to any preparations that you need. Anything you need, just ask. Let's make sure they have it.
Understood.
Okay, team. Have we collected everything that we need to collect? Do we feel good about the site?
From a geological standpoint, I'm not seeing any issues, although we'll probably want to investigate the caverns off in the mountains to make sure that we don't have any predatory megafauna living there or anything out of an abundance of caution.
Sir, I think we
And-
can have security perimeters set up here and maintain a pretty high level of safety for the colony.
Squish is another one. There's no real medical reason that this place isn't good either.
Well, with the exception of a few hiccups, I guess. This does seem like a good site. Casey, regarding those caverns that Nidan mentioned, do you feel comfortable confirming that there's nothing nefarious hiding out in them right now, or would you want to come down with a larger team?
Sorry, were there cabins? That might have been while I was AFK.
There's a series of caverns and caves in the mountain areas.
Well, Commander, I have yet to fully investigate them. If you'd like, Cheng and myself could go investigate them now while the initial construction teams are coming down.
Sounds good. Doctor, will the shots that you gave Nidan and I, will they hold for a while? Doctor, are you on mute?
I was. Sorry.
No worries.
They'll hold for about, let me check real quick. They'll hold for about 4 hours, but after that, it's going to get real bad real quick.
Okay, we'll make sure that we're on the ship within that time frame. Why don't you accompany the security officers here? Just make sure that that cavern is clear. Lieutenant Nidan and I will manage things here, communicate with the ship, and get things started.
Understood.
Meanwhile, on the ship, where's my noises? Incoming hail, Captain.
Just a bit surprised. On screen.
On screen is a female Trill. Captain Prax, I am Vidrel Trall, the mining foreman of the new mining colony.
Yes. What can I help you with?
Captain, I would like to inform you that the initial ship for our mining survey is going to arrive ahead of schedule. The first ship should arrive at your location in about 3 days' time.
Understood. We just arrived in the system and begun preliminary survey operations for a suitable location for the colony. I have currently have a waiting on the surface doing a survey of the proposed site.
How's my colony look, Captain?
We haven't begun construction yet, but it looks promising.
My team and I are looking forward to arriving. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to mention, Captain. 2 of my crew members recently have gotten ill. Our medical staff wasn't too sure what it was, so we sent one of our ships back to Starbase 21 to have them transferred to a better medical location.
I see. Any of your other crew members have fallen ill yet?
We were checked out by some of the personnel at 21. They don't seem to have the same issue as the other 2. In fact, they're kind of stumped at what it is.
What sort of issue?
It's hard to say. It seemed like they entered some type of comatose state. They're on their way back to Trill now to get it further evaluated.
Was an airborne pathogen identified or some sort of virus?
Our ship's sensors did not indicate any airborne causes for this. And like I said, our medical team has been stumped. The medical personnel I have on board are keeping a close eye on the rest of us, but I saw no reason to delay our mission.
Understood. Will you be arriving within the first group?
Yes, I am aboard our first ship now. With us not having our other slower ship, we were able to increase speed a bit, so it allows us to get there a few days early. Hence, I thought I'd extend to you the courtesy of letting you know we might arrive a few days early. So,
I do appreciate the courtesy. We will definitely try to get the habitation finished for you.
very good. Thank you very much, Captain, for taking the time out of your normal mission to help us with this endeavor. Starfleet has expressed great importance in our mission as well. So thank you very much for diverting your ship.
Not a problem.
Formantrol out.
Does that name seem familiar?
I don't think so.
Okay. Just making
I
sure.
pulled it out of the book, so if it is, it's a coincidence.
Unexpected comatose state. She kind of thinks about that. I was like, does that ring a bell? Expedition to away team.
I think Prex. Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
Commander DeGrasse appears on the screen. Just as about you could see the motion of him just about to hit his comm badge.
It'd just be audio, wouldn't it?
What's that?
I said, wouldn't it be audio?
You are correct. My mistake.
Away team here, Captain.
How's the survey operation going, Commander?
So far, so good, relatively. Site looks good. Geologically, it looks sound, very stable. Casey was able to set up a security perimeter and believes we shouldn't have any problems, at least nothing that he's seen so far. There was one hiccup. it appears that there's a certain species of, I guess it's a parasitic insect, airborne, mirroring a mosquito. Caused some problems down here for Lieutenant Nadan and I. So the doctor has mentioned that he's going to be, well, preparing what he needs to prepare to make sure that our colonists are well protected.
Other
Other than that, I think we're good, Captain.
It's excellent news. Keep in mind the colonists will be here within 3 days. They apparently will be arriving 2 days earlier.
Huh. Well, that certainly speeds up a few timelines.
Have Lieutenant Udon collect some samples of the insects. Let's see if we can't create some sort of bug repellent. They are indeed Trill, and if you and Udon are having a severe reaction, this could be an issue for the miners.
Understood, Captain. We'll arrive with samples in tow.
I await your report on your completion of the survey. Expedition out.
Back on the planet. Was there anything else you wanted to do on the ship, Captain? Before I cut to them, sorry.
No, she's just reading the paper.
All right, cool. Back on the planet surface.
So DeGrasse will turn to Nadan and say, well, guess we'll have to collect some samples of these airborne insects. With fellow Trill coming down to the planet and, well, given our reactions. As the captain said, it might be good to prepare some sort of repellent or something else. So,
Agreed, Commander, especially if somebody else gets a worse reaction.
yeah. All I can say is that it didn't feel good for me, so I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I'm not sure if I can help you collect the sample, but let's make sure to get a few.
Aye, Commander. I will set out a live bug trap to try to trap them.
All right. Go ahead and give me. I'm gonna make this a daring science. I'm gonna make this a. Let's make this a difficulty 3.
Quick question for you, GM.
Sure.
Would I be able to assist since I have a science of 4?
Yes.
Not expect to focus though.
Okay, I will spend on momentum to gain a die. And does the kit come with pre-existing like live traps for insects? Or
It does have
would
a few. It does have a few specimen containers with it.
Perfect. Okay.
If it
All
doesn't,
right.
I'm saying they are just for ease.
Yeah. What was that difficulty again?
3.
3. Just to be on the safe side, I'll actually spend 3 momentum for a total of 4 dice. I really don't want to fail this.
All right, Doc, you said you were going to assist her with your daring science. All right.
Good thing.
Nadan, you lay out several traps, and over the course of the next few hours, you're able to, get a couple of the insects of various species to hit some of your traps. And you think you probably get enough to start studying the insects.
Great. I will close up the traps and pack them for transportation.
Casey, you said you were probably going to go and investigate the caverns.
Yes.
So while Nadan's collecting her bugs, you and Chen, or you and Commander, or you and whoever go and do that. The caverns are pretty much empty. There's not a lot of plant or animal life inside the caverns, other than, like ant-like bugs, termites, roaches. Things that you'd expect in tropical climates.
And like that's
A few
just
small mammals,
from
rodents and stuff.
is that like from what we can tell, or like having fully walked through it?
From you walking through them.
Right. Cool.
You are also able to detect that the caverns do also touch several veins of duranium. It's built into where this deposit is too. It goes through all of that. So it's almost like if you had a laser miner, you could probably get a good chunk out yourself right now. It's that dense here.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll take that and head back to the colony site to get ready for the construction crews.
Right. Anything else you'd like to do on the planet before you report back to the captain? Because at this point, unless you think of anything else, I think your survey's pretty much complete.
Nothing that I can think of.
All right, Commander, you could probably make that call up to the captain then.
All right. Taps his comm badge. Away team to expedition.
Go ahead, away team.
Captain, we've collected some samples of the insects and did a little more investigating of some cavern and cave complexes near here to make sure that they were safe. Everything appears good to go. Unless you see any other reason, I think we can be on our way up and deliver the samples, start our analysis and any work we need to do, and Mendrock can start managing the construction teams.
Understood. Return to the ship and we'll discuss the findings.
Will do, Captain. Away team out.
You said going back to the ship?
Yes.
All right, I'll just throw everyone in the conference room to make it nice and easy. Just because there's still a lot to get through, so try to speed some things up, but not everything. So
your findings look quite promising for the mining group that'll be heading here within 3 days. Lieutenant Don, I'd like you to work on, and with help with the doctor, to work on a appropriate repellent for these mosquito-like creatures. Commander, begin working, setting up the sites with Commander Mendrock and Commander Casey here on the location for the appropriate habitats that we can begin constructing on the surface.
Okay, so I'm going to explain really quick how this next part is going to work. So there's a lot of tasks to try to get done by day 5. And I have all the tasks listed here. You have you have to set up the house and base structures. You have to set up a medical clinic, set up the power supply, set up the security perimeter and sensors, um, complete the geological survey for potential mining sites, where they can put their equipment right away. And then we also have to add in the bug and malaria treatment that the doctor found earlier. So how this is going to work is each player is able to do or to assist in one task each day. And so that basically you're going to pick what task you want to do. You're going to roll for it, roll whatever challenge dice, and that's basically all you get to do for that one day. That's basically taking into all the amount of work that you would do in a probably about a 12-hour period, before you have to rest for sleep and whatnot. The players can decide in whatever order they want to do these tasks. There are certain tasks that cannot be started or completed until other ones are done. I have all the prerequisites listed in the test below. We can go through those if you guys want. It'll be up to you how to use your resources. And I figure if you activate support characters, they're activated for all of the days. So it'd be like, if you activate another engineer, it'll be like there's a second shift of engineers doing another shift for the day. So you get the extra roll or whatever. Hopefully that made a little bit of sense. So for example here, for the house and structures, there's no prerequisite to start that. But for the power supply, you need to at least get the magnitude. You need to at least get the magnitude down by 3 in order to start doing the power. Because you have to have some of the structures in place before you can do the power. And like the security protocol needs some structure in place, some power in place. So it's things like that you might not be able to start right away. So that's one of the things you guys have to keep in mind moving forward. The goal is by the end of day 5, when the bulk of the miners show up, that most of these tasks, if not all of the tasks, are complete so that they can get started right away. Questions? That's kind of a lot.
I have a lot of talents related to task completion. So I'm
Okay.
very humble.
All right. So, Lieutenant Commander Mendrock, go ahead and begin construction on the power supply. While that's going on, Mr. Casey begins setting up the security perimeter. While that's going on, Lieutenant Don, you can finish your geological survey for any potential additional mining sites. Commander DeGrasse, please assist Commander Mendrock on the power supply. We're going to need that up and running before we can start depositing the additional habitats. I will work on coordinating the engineering teams to get working on the habitats on the surface of the planet.
So I'm going to interject here one moment, Captain. In order to start on the power supply, you have to have 3 magnitudes of the housing done.
Oh, I see that.
Because it's the housing and some of the infrastructure. So that's like running power lines on, between the buildings, and it incorporates all the infrastructure with it. If that makes sense.
Could I activate the Chief Petty Officer character for an assist there? He has really high presence command.
Well, no. So DeGrasse,
housing.
I mean, technically, really, DeGrasse and I could do the housing. While Mendrock works on the power supply, and then really the only issue is the doctor. The doctor's gonna be divided into 2 tasks essentially, or we pull a supporting character to work on the either the medical tent or the malaria treatment.
I mean, we've only expended 1 crew support, so we could have like an assisting support character for almost every role.
Now remember, the support characters can do a task also. They don't have to just assist.
Yeah, but the tasks all allow for an assist as well, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we might as well spend 1 crew support then.
Well,
Chen
Chen already went down to the surface, so he could literally assist you with the security perimeter. For that, but we still have to have Meditus. So really, we have to work on the housing structure first, and then switch to power, and then go back to. I mean, we gotta get the housing to essentially magnitude 3 first before we do any other task. Because security needs the power to finish it. The geological survey can be done at any point, but that's also on the more lower side. It's getting the structures, the power, or the housing and the power up first. Medical would be probably on the light. The medical tent would be on the lighter side of things, but I'm thinking the bug treatment is a bit more higher priority in case people come down being sick.
I agree. GM question, like, so if Prax and I were to do the house and base structures, and then someone else were to do something else dependent on that, we could do that in the same day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you guys were to do the base and housing first, so I'm breaking your task into 12-hour shifts, for example. So if you and the captain were to work in, let's say, the first shift, you could have someone else technically do the second shift when all of that's already been done. If that makes sense. You and the commander, or you and the captain would work in the first 12 hours getting the structure set up, and then someone in the next 12 hours, potentially at night, would be working on the power.
Gotcha.
So the first day probably you would want you're doing the housing and then the geological survey at the same time, right?
Probably do that at the same time.
So, where do you guys want to start? I think you guys got a plan, so where would you guys like to start?
Honestly, though, let's have the doctors start working on the malaria or the bug treatment.
Okay.
All right, so that is going to be a reason or insight with your medicine or science. Difficulty 2, work 10, magnitude 2, resistance 2.
Can Casey
Yes,
assist the doctor because he has nothing to do on Tuesday?
I mean, you guys can figure out where you want to assist anywhere. You don't have to ask me for permission. You just got to say, hey, I'm going to help him.
Okay. I will help him because he can't do his task.
Yeah, just keep in mind this is your task for the day.
Right.
Focus in infectious diseases or genetics?
Yes.
Okay. What did you say the difficulty was for this?
2.
2. You know what? I gotta do this. Could I possibly spend my determination on the patient is everything, even though I don't have a current patient on it to prevent future patients?
Real quick, I would like to, before you start rolling, I would like to create the plan of action because I'm literally detailing out this is how we're going to do things. To create the advantage to help lower the difficulty on this, on the task for all this, and then also for the bonus momentum when doing these extended tasks. If that's going to for the procedure of how we're actually going about this.
So it'd be like an overall advantage for all of them?
Yes.
And you have to roll for it, right?
Yes, when Alex sees a task made possible at the difficulty reduced of an advantage created by the character.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we could go ahead and do that. You know, so you're getting all your teams in order. So yeah, so this would probably be presence command then.
I don't know. I don't think strategy and tactics will be a focus for this. So
Nope.
I don't have one. You know what? I will use my joint talent to create appropriate focus.
Yeah, I'm thinking like team dynamics or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Urban development or urban planning.
Yeah.
Would probably be good for this too.
I am.
In one of your past hosts, you built cities. Probably one of your first ones, actually.
No, the first one was a botanist. Actually, Kaiden was probably a good candidate for this focus.
Yeah, there you go.
And take a threat.
Oh, I do like threat.
I didn't even need to use the joint talent.
Nope. You get 2 momentum out of it. And yeah, you create that advantage.
Okay.
Okay, so that lowers the difficulty but for me to 1?
Yes.
Okay. Then in that case, just take a momentum.
You do have 2 bonus momentum to use on the actual dice roll.
All right.
Oh,
you guys gain 2
thanks.
momentum out of that.
I'll use one of my bonus to re-roll 4. Okay. You said there was a resistance on this one too, right?
Yeah, resistance of 2.
You have another bonus.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was using the other bonus into resistance. Because that would be 5.
Yep. So that'll put you at work of 10, magnitude of 1, unless you have anything special in there.
Nope, because it's not relating to surgery. So, yeah, I think that's everything I've got for that one.
right. Doctor and Casey, you have both went for the day. Actually, I should throw everyone on the planet here. Well, yeah, I like the planet. Who'd I forget? Mendrock. All right, who would like to go next?
We have to do housing next. So
All right, housing is going to be base difficulty 3, work 25, magnitude 5, resistance 3. Resistance mostly coming from you have to work either around or cut down the trees.
okay, I might be overthinking that we can get a lot done in one day. So we only get one roll for the entire day.
Your character, correct.
Okay. So let's have Mendrock can work on the housing for the first day, because we're probably not gonna get to the power supply then until the second day. The way I'm thinking.
Okay.
So, and then DeGrasse can assist, and then I will order teams. Actually, wait. Sorry, I am micromanaging this.
You're the captain.
Okay, Mendrock is going to go. DeGrasse is going to assist me on the housing. Mendrock is going to do the first roll to get everything started. So
Okay.
he will start the roll.
Okay.
Because.
All right.
All right. So with the captain's assist, Mendrock, this will be a difficulty 2.
All right.
What the hell's the? You can use either your control or your daring, and I would say even you can use your presence with engineering.
I
So
don't
you can. So yeah. So Mendrock, you can use either your control, daring, or presence with your engineering.
I'll hit control plus engineering.
Okay.
And
Difficulty 2. So whatever you need to spend to make sure you hit that.
yeah. All right. I'll buy a third die.
Keep in mind we have 6 momentum. You're also getting some bonus momentum from the roll. It also gets reduced by 1 because of plan of action.
Yep. Yeah, I already factored in the
Okay.
plan of action.
All right.
Base difficulties 3.
I don't think any of my focuses apply. So
Damn. Get a momentum back. Roll 7 challenge dice. And all your effects count as 2, correct?
yep.
All right, so that's 7. So right now you're doing 4 work.
You have 2 bonus, so you can reroll. I would say spend 1 to reroll 3.
Yeah. I'll spend 1 to reroll 3.
And then spend the other bonus on piercing.
Spend that on piercing then.
So you rolled 10, minus 1 after piercing. So so far you're doing 9 work.
And should be 2 breakthroughs.
That is correct.
Cool.
DeGrasse and I are.
So yeah, so Mendrock, you had your teams ready well in advance that as soon as you touch down on the planet, you and your teams have a quick look around, kind of give each other a nod, and you probably get the basic structures for probably the entire colony done, probably within half a day's work. To where you're able to work on some of the walls and the outer structures before the end of the day.
Cool.
Okay. I'm going to go with the assist from DeGrasse, because then his coordinate efforts should fire on this.
Does the plan of action apply to you as well?
Plans to. No, it doesn't. When it's an
All right.
ally, so it does not apply to me. But
Okay,
it's
so
okay.
this is still that this will be a difficulty 1 task then. After the chief hit his 2.
I'll be rolling with presence command. Does the focus for like city planning still apply?
I believe that's still end of scene, correct?
Did the scene change?
It does. Well, it was supposed to before this, but no, it hasn't, and it won't until this is over.
Okay. I'm just wondering if my focus still applies.
Yes, your focus will apply until all of this is over.
You know, I'm gonna use my StarCraft medal to double the focus range.
So you have a focus range of up to 10, huh?
Yep, and I'll give you a threat.
I do enjoy threat.
Yeah. So 2 float, 4 float.
All right, so you got 4 successes there, so 6 successes total. So you gained 5 momentum. Captain, go ahead and give me those 7 challenge dice. And DeGrasse, you're gonna have to tell me what your thing does, because I have no idea.
We're doing the progression one, so it's 1 extra word per effect.
Okay, 2,
Yep.
4, 6, 8. Oh, 2, 4, 6, 7. So right now you're doing 4.
I'm spending 1 of the 6 float to reroll 3. 2 of it goes into resistance, so 0 resistance. So that's.
So right now you're doing 9.
And then the rest into extra work, so total of 11 work.
Okay.
And that should be the 3rd breakthrough.
It is.
Can we use a supporting character
Yes.
at this point? Okay. Freya is going to join the fray. And start construction on the power supply.
Okay. Let me drag Freya into here. Okay, power supply. If I could find it, is going to be daring or control with engineering, base difficulty of 4, complication range 2, work 20, magnitude 4, resistance of 2.
She does not have a focus for this, but she does have intense scrutiny and miracle worker. Intense scrutiny is ignoring up to resistance per effect rolled.
Nice.
Yep. So yes. Difficulty you said was base 4, so diff 3.
Yep.
There's no focus. She'll give you 1 threat, and I'll spend 2 momentum. Awesome if I could find the.
All right, you gain a momentum back. Oh dear God. So effects 2 work?
No, it's piercing. So
Oh,
piercing
piercing, gotcha.
4 total.
Yep,
And
okay.
she also has Miracle Worker, so that's an extra breakthrough. So that should be 2 breakthroughs.
So right now it's 9 work.
What's the total work track? 20.
Yes.
The 2 bonus momentum goes straight to extra work.
So 11 work.
Yes. And I gotta keep track on the ship sheet. We've used 2 supporting characters so far.
Yep. So with all your coordinated efforts, the engineering team had most of the equipment ready to go. And really all it was once you hit certain building thresholds, it was a quick beam up to it was a quick comms up to the ship, phase 1, phase 2, and the next team would beam down and begin their work. In the first 12 hours, you nearly are able to get most of the building and structures placed, and you figure you probably get half of the power systems in place. So some of the buildings will have power tonight, as well as a few working replicators and such.
Well, here's the thing. So, we can throw at
So
Boris.
far, that's what's done.
I'll say we could launch Boris down there, and he can finish the power. So, like quite literally, he could probably finish the power if you guys want to. I think we should do it. Get the power up and running.
Absolutely.
I'm a little confused. I thought one character roll was 12 hours.
It is, but there could be an extra shift.
Yes. So we could literally we could have Boris come down and finish the power and get it up and running.
Right. No, I was just confused because you needed. So if men drop roll, that's 20, like 12 hours, and then you and DeGrasse roll, that's 12 hours, and then that'd be the first day. But then after your work, the power would be able to. They'd be able to start on the power, and that would be the start of day 2.
So how I am thinking about this is all the main characters do their work in the first shift. Okay, so everyone but Nadon is basically working in the first shift. Freya and Boris are working in the second shift.
I see. Okay.
So like after the day's work done, after you guys go to rest and relax, go to sleep, whatever, the second shift comes down and starts fiddling with the power. Of which, if Boris rolls really well, by the time you guys get up to start your next shift on day 2, the power will probably be done.
Yeah, that's where I got confused. So.
Yeah, and then we could also send down like a security team and have them work on the security perimeter while the power is being worked on, because the power is up. So.
Yeah, I was gonna have roll for Chang as well.
Let's. If you want to do Boris, go ahead. Because.
If I do, yeah, I can roll for him. And as I put there as well, you might want to bring the science supporting characters in because half of the tasks require or could be completed with science.
Literally, I'm thinking like we use a medical support to get the malaria treatment done on the ship.
Yeah.
With one of the medical units.
So, how much is left to do for Boris?
For the power, the task will be a base difficulty 2, complication 2, work track would be 9, magnitude 2, resistance 2.
Okay.
With the captain's buff, it'll be a difficulty 1 task.
Right. EPS focus?
Yes.
System maintenance. Take a threat. This is a control.
And you're giving me a lot of threat for later.
Engineer. For later? What's that mean later? What the hell?
Okay. Boris is he's having a hard time down there. The heat is definitely getting the Boris, but he goes a little slower than you'd like him to, but he's still able to get the job done.
Determination spend, not to cut you
No,
off.
he got it.
Oh, you got it. Oh.
He had a reroll. I was just narrating the roll back into the one. Go ahead and roll 7 challenge dice. Yeah, Casey had the bold reroll. Does Boris have anything special with effects and tones and whatnot?
Nick of time and nick of time for extra work and miracle worker.
So the God, all your engineers have this. All right, so that's 2 work per effect, so that's 9.
So if I spend momentum for piercing, this task is done?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, then I spend a momentum for piercing.
And yeah, you get the bonus, so. Yeah, so the second shift, working on the power after the main structure's done, they pretty much finished the power. With you not having all of the structure complete, it was easier for the power team to run the fiber optic cables and the power relays and the plasma piping, whatever, through the buildings before the walls went up. So the power has been completed within the first night. Oh, it is Boris, so he might have been.
Yeah.
All right, so the only people I see currently that need to go would be Nadan and Chen.
Yeah, I do need to go. Do we want to really put effort into, like, would you rather me assist more with the malaria treatment or with the medical? I was away for part of that, so I'm not sure what the status.
We could
Or
literally
sorry, not
have,
the medical, the geological survey.
You could start on the geological survey if you want. It's literally we could have a supporting character go on the ship for the malaria treatment.
Okay, I will do the survey then.
All right, Nadan, what did I have written for the survey? This is going to be reason, control, or insight using your science. Base difficulty is 3. Work is 18. Magnitude 3. Resistance is 2. After the captain's superpower, this will be a difficulty 2.
I will spend 1 momentum to get an extra die.
All right, just got it. Go ahead and roll me 7 challenge dice, please. Roll.
What?
Roll 4 more.
Oh.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Sometimes the sheet gets wonky. So right now you're doing 5.
You have 2 bonus, so you can spend 1 to reroll 2 and 1 for piercing if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds like a plan.
All right, roll 2 dice.
What? That was weird.
It's fine. I'll take the first 2.
Okay.
Your sheet's acting wonky, so that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I got you doing 9 work currently.
Cool.
Which is half of it so far.
Great.
So, Nadan, you start your work surveying the mining sites. And you probably figure that there are 4 very good deposits around, and you are able to fully survey one of them by the time um, the first shift ends.
Great. Thanks.
So then the only one that's been activated that hasn't gone yet would be Chen.
I imagine he's just going to start on the security.
All right, for the security perimeter, this is going to be a control or daring with security. Base difficulty 3, complication range 2, work of 12, magnitude 3, resistance 1.
Mandrake, are you still playing him, or do you want me to take over?
I can play him if you like.
Doesn't matter to me. Go right ahead.
And what was the roll?
Daring or control with security. The base difficulty is 3, but after the captain's thing, it's difficulty 2.
All right. And he's the primary.
Yes, he's the only one rolling.
All right. So my third die.
Does he have a reroll?
He doesn't. Well, it's a second activation, so technically we didn't give him something yet, so
So squash it with momentum.
Yeah, you could spend it to squash it, or you could keep it, whichever you'd like.
Yeah, I'd rather squash it than have it
I will squash.
adverse.
Okay. Cheng tries to go about his duties, but him being a young officer, the task seems to be a little bit more difficult than he intended without supervision or without help. So he gets basically no work done. He basically is trying to figure out where to place the equipment. It's getting all disorganized. So there is a setback with the security perimeter. He mucked it up, so I'm going to spend some threat here. I'm going to increase the resistance for this task for the rest of the task to 2.
Okay.
Any more activations, or would we like to call this a night for this first day?
Oh no, we're just getting started. You know what? We'll have Coda beam down and work on the power supply. Not the power supply, the perimeter.
All right. Go ahead and give me that roll. Whoever wants to roll for it.
Does somebody else want to roll for her, or?
You could also send Solva to finish the geological survey.
Well, geological survey is magnitude 4, so that might be a little bit.
It's down to Mag 2 though, is it, Ed?
Mag 3.
Okay, my bad.
So yeah, we'll have. You said it's control or daring.
Control or daring with security, yes.
It's all the same. Difficulty of 2.
Yes.
take a threat. There is no focus. She is bold. Reroll to 0.
Come on, complication. Boo. You get a momentum out of it. And then 7 challenge dice, please.
One of the bonus to reroll 3. And the other bonus for resistance.
So right now I have you doing 7 work.
Yes. As she's bubbling about Ched's poor progress.
Swearing at him the entire time.
Like a Bajoran would.
But she is able to compensate for Chen's shortcomings in this regard, and is able to actually get a little more than half of the perimeter set up. And the entire camp just hears her yelling at him the entire time.
During the night shift.
Yeah.
That's number 4. And we'll go ahead. That way the doctor's not stuck on the ship. We will have... which one of the medical departments?
Now you have a lot more medical officers here.
You do, because we had a Blackwell. We'll go with Mackenzie. She's on the ship. Metal toxicology for a focus.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
What's the difficulty on it currently?
So this is good. So the base difficulty is 1, work 5, magnitude 1, resistance 2.
So div 0.
Yes.
Take a threat. Or reroll.
Man, I love threat.
Yeah, we need momentum though. Alright, here comes a complication. Sorry.
Oh, well, she's on the ship, so she wouldn't get what I'm thinking. But, you get 3 momentum out of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now you're doing 3 work. That'll take care of that. So, Doctor, you and your medical staff working an entire 24-hour shift come up with a malaria inoculation for this planet. And it also includes some antihistamine protection to include for anyone who is down here in case they get bit. So it's kind of like a one-all shot for everybody. And you're also
Awesome.
And you're also able to synthesize it with enough quantities for the away team, and with your medical advantages on the ship, you're able to set them to get it ready for the colonists.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Then in that case, I guess first thing in the morning, when the doctor gets up, sees that it's done, he's like, awesome. Thank you very much for your help. And sends down a batch to the away team and goes down himself.
Okay, real quick. I'm thinking we finish the housing with Matthews. On the first day. Because this would be the last supporting crew we could activate.
Yeah, I think that's how Starfleet tends to work as well. Except they harden and turn into concrete structures.
That's not rustic enough. Casey needs this like old-timey camping experience.
This is Starfleet. They turn into miniature hotels.
They'll have like some fancy like, it's like a s'more stick, but it's not a stick. It's like disconnected, like, you know what I mean? It just has like a handle, and then it just kind of like holds the s'more out or the marshmallow out in front of the fire by levitation.
So were you activating Matthews to finish up one of the other tasks?
Yeah. For the activation, I'm giving him Miracle Worker.
Sure.
Little. All right. He has bold engineering.
So this will be a diff 0, by the by.
Okay. Well, and we have momentum. You know what? He doesn't really need the reroll. No focus. Control engineering.
Is that what I said? Yeah.
It's for the housing, so daring.
Yeah, I believe so. I think I said daring, controller presence. One of the 3. You get 2 momentum, so you have 2 float. 6 challenge dice.
Oh, whoops. Scratch the end.
Yep.
Rerolling.
So reroll 2, I think. Son of a. Nick and time gives extra work, correct?
No, his miracle work I didn't get. He doesn't have Nick and time, so.
Oh, that's the extra breakthrough.
Yes, that's the extra breakthrough.
Okay. So far, he's doing 4 work.
Well, he has 3 float because 1 bonus and then the 2 float, so piercing and extra work to get to the 5.
And that'll be the 2 breakthroughs you need. So yeah, the engineering team, working their collective asses off, are able to complete the entire structure and buildings of the colony. They are also able to fully get the power working. So you basically have the entire city minus a medical facility and minus the security perimeter done. There's no roughing it tonight. You could pick a bed, basically. You have so much time that you could just basically customize the place if you want the next few days. That's all the activations, right?
That is all the activations that we can do, so we're capped.
Okay. So at night, the senior staff gather around, I would say one of the fires, but you bastards got power going the first day. You gather around and you sit inside what will eventually be the basically like the cafeteria of the place. And I'll open up the floor for some open role play on the first day.
Well,
Captain
the doctor is headed. He is headed down. So.
Yeah, I'll throw you down there.
Okay.
The captain would actually be on the ship because she has a date.
Oh, goodbye, Captain. Okay, so the 5 non-captain senior staff are gathered inside the cafeteria of the colony. Having just completed their work, seeing the work going around them, noticing that you are making excellent progress.
Casey pulls a beer out of his backpack and cracks it. Well, that was a long day.
Pearson reaches into his sack and pulls out a bottle of clear liquid. Here, try this.
Casey will drink it.
It's literally moonshine.
Water.
It's literally moonshine.
It's like it's either water or gin. Even better, moonshine. Ooh, that's some strong stuff, Doctor. I assume this is for medicinal purposes only.
Of course.
Well, thanks for the prescription.
No problem. Speaking of prescriptions, here, you guys need these. Hands out a bunch of hypo sprays. Or whatever container it's held in.
It'd be a hypo.
DeGrasse immediately takes it and injects himself. Gotta say, Doc, after that initial scare, I'm a little paranoid about these little insects.
Understandable. Probably all the noise around kept them away from you guys while you were working throughout the day. Because I didn't receive a call for any medical emergencies, so.
I will apply the hypo spray to myself as well. Thanks, Doc.
Mendrock.
Well, Chief, that was some good work today.
Thank you, Commander. It's been a long, busy day, but we got a lot accomplished. Very proud of my team.
Well, who knows? Get this done quickly, and maybe the captain will allow us a little impromptu shore leave.
That would be nice.
Well, from what I could see, all that's really left to go up is some of the security perimeter and the medical tent, of course. That's the only thing that really hasn't gotten started.
Well, if you need me for anything, Commander, I am at your service. My team is ready.
Understandable.
Well, I think I'd better get some rest before tomorrow.
That's probably your idea, yes.
If anyone wishes to join me, I had Petty Officer Shachagrith beam down some camping kits, and I found an excellent spot about 1 kilometer from here.
Think I'll take you up on that. And actually, I'll apply the hypo spray as well.
And DeGrasse will say likewise. Might help my sleep pattern a little bit to get in some natural day-night cycle.
Camping is nature's therapy.
Unfortunately, I have an early day tomorrow, so I'm probably going to crash here at the camp.
All right, so you guys say your goodbyes. You head off to where you're gonna lay your head for the night. A few of you took the camping gear and followed Casey for the nice little hike to the campsite. A few of you stayed behind, getting, wanting to get as much sleep as you can for the next day. We'll go ahead and head up to the captain's quarters. Interesting. Huh, I don't have any sound in the captain's quarters. There we go. Captain, you've probably been on the ship for a good 20 minutes. Assuming you're preparing for your evening.
She is, though she's probably running late because I'm sure that was pretty, hectic down there.
Yep. However, you do hear your door chime.
Enter.
He and God, I can never. And Nazin enters, and kind of sees you book toward the bathroom. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Am I early?"
No, I'm running late.
Sorry, I think you broke up again.
No, I'm running late.
Toki, you had a busy day today.
Uh, that's quite the understatement, but yes, very busy.
So how'd it go?
At least from all reports, it looks like we might be finished with most of the work tomorrow.
That's quite impressive.
Indeed,
So,
it is.
what's the planet like?
It's remarkably very beautiful. However, I'm not too fond of the bugs, but
I could imagine as he kind of looks at where your symbiote would be. Hopefully, the Trill mining operation that's coming here are prepared for the bug situation on the planet.
believe the doctor was had already formulated a treatment for at least one of the diseases that we encountered down there.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm assuming you're hungry after today's work?
I am famished.
Well, then I'm glad I took the extra time to prepare a little something for you.
Oh.
And so he steps out of the hall and he brings in a dining cart, the old-fashioned one on wheels. There's a couple of those silver lids that cover food. There's a couple of those on the plate. There's a vase of flowers on there. There's a little bottle of wine on there.
Call me impressed.
I figured with you working so hard on the planet's surface today that eating out might be a little much. I thought a nice quiet evening in might do wonders for you.
That sounds perfect. And she kind of like starts helping him carry the stuff into like on the table.
All right, so you and him carry all the items onto one of the tables. Trying to find a good picture. Here we go. So he lifts up the bowl, and the picture I just posted is what he lifts the hood up. I've been, as I don't move him to the room, I've been studying some of the database to try some of the more exotic foods from the various cultures on this ship. And I do say that I find this dish to be most intriguing. the texture, the flavor profile. It's something I've never seen or tried before, but it's quickly become one of my favorites.
What is it?
I think it's called ratatouille. From a place on Earth called France.
I don't believe I ever had this, though I was spent limited time in Paris. Looks delicious.
Yes, I was able to talk to Bob, and I was able to get some fresh produce he keeps. I got some fresh tomatoes, eggplant, something called zucchini, squash, some bell peppers. And I was able to get some authentic spices too.
Well, don't let the first officer know that you create this, because I don't think the peppers will sit too well with him. But I, for one, like spicy food.
Really? That's good to know, because I have been studying the cuisine of a place on Earth called India. I understand that they have some of the spiciest food. At least recommended from some of the human crew members on the ship.
Well, as they say in Paris, bon appetit.
And he raises one of the wine glass, and the clink or whatever.
And she gives a nod with the toast and dives in. So I read a little bit, didn't finish it. Apologize, your paper. It's interesting.
But you're not entirely sold on the concept.
I have seen other cultures dictate similar cave drawings before, but they were known to have encounters with advanced species that came in there, and they happened to notice them. Especially in the early days of Starfleet, some captains were a little bit more zealous back then.
Well, then I really don't want to spoil the ending to my report. We did find other things on the planet in some of our digs as well. More than just your typical rock drawings and cave dwellings. But that could be a conversation for another time. Come, you must be starving.
As I said, I am famished. She starts taking some of the ratatouille and put it on her plate. So,
I'm sure we could.
Go ahead.
I'm sure we could talk shop after we've had this wonderful meal.
And yeah, she'll just make casual conversation with him.
Great, excellent. We'll let you guys enjoy your evening. I will come back to the jungle colony. So everyone goes about their various sleeping habits. Nothing really happens overnight. You those camping in the woods hear an occasional rustle in the brush, but probably from a marsupial or a small nocturnal rodent or something like that. But all of you awaken the next day and are heading back to the colony. You make it into the town square when the captain also transports back into the square with whatever supporting crew happened to remain on the ship that night. Eager to start the next day's work.
Good morning, everybody.
Go ahead, roleplay.
Morning, Captain.
Yeah, we could go ahead and make that a scene change, Captain.
Okay.
So if there's no role play we'd like to do, which holy shit, it's 10 o'clock. We could probably get back going in this. So what the task you have left is setting up the medical clinic, finishing the security, and finishing the survey. So again, you guys can figure out how you guys want to go about doing that.
Well, I guess Casey will finish off the. We'll try to finish off the security.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. So your base difficulty, Casey, is going to be difficulty 2. This is daring or control with security. Base diff 2, complication range 2. You have 5 work left. Magnitude 2, resistance 2.
Yeah, difficulty 2. You said.
Yes. Or base difficulty 2, but Captain's superpower. So the superpower only lasts the scene, or does it last?
It doesn't say. It just, as long as the plan or strategy is still in effect, it goes until the end. The whole thing's completed.
All right, cool. So, Casey, your difficulty is actually 1.
All right. Take a threat.
Threat for days.
Actually, can I spend my determination on the belly? Stick to the plan.
Sure.
Yeah, and don't. I won't spend that threat then.
Okay. All right. So you have 4 successes. So you gain 3 momentum. Go ahead and roll me 7 challenge dice. So far, you are doing 2 work.
Yes. I can spend 1 for piercing and 1 for extra work, I guess.
You also have 2 more, so you can reroll 3. You have total.
There's
4.
only 5.
Oh, is this so? The 6. So I have 4 float.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay then.
Because you get the 2 from the captain's superpower, and then the other thing.
Yeah, and just piercing.
Yeah, that gets it. So Casey, after you get back into the morning and you check the status of the security grid, you notice that it's definitely almost halfway done, and you take the rest of this day to finish it up and get it set, so it's able to protect the colonists. It's able to generate a small energy shield should it need it, which probably will help out with the bugs. It won't be able to withstand any orbital bombardments, but it's at least able to help with the environment and stuff like that. So it has some sentry, some sensors, and all that good stuff. So it's all set and ready to go. Security is done.
So I think, so roleplay wise, Commander DeGrasse, why don't you help assist Nidan in her geological survey? Seems like we can handle the rest from here.
Of course, Captain.
All right, so we have DeGrasse and Nadon with the survey. So whoever wants to do the main role, this is going to be a reason, control, or insight with science. The base difficulty is 2, but after the captain's superpower, the difficulty is 1. Work 9, magnitude 3, resistance 2.
I'll propose that I leap because I think I've got a relevant focus here.
Okay, cool.
And if it's okay, I'll spend a momentum to get 1 extra die. I don't think testing a theory counts because this is an extended task, and testing a theory is specifically only task rolls. At least that's how it's been rolled in other sessions.
Yeah, and that's probably fine because this might be a little different because you're surveying.
Okay.
You know, so every bit of the survey is a little different. Although now that I say that, I could see a point for it too. Not like you need it. You gain 3 momentum out of that. Roll 7 challenge dice. Oh, and DeGrasse with the assist if he is assisting.
He is. Do I have to use the same attribute discipline combination?
No. You could use whatever I call that.
Cool.
Because the way I see this is Nadon's using more of her brain power of how she knows the geologicalness of the area. You know, the main, you know, like she's more or less using her brain. You're using the sensors. You know, you're using your tricorder. She's more or less using her knowledge to figure out where everything's at.
Cool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What does your superpower do, DeGrasse? It gives more work, right?
Yeah, it's an extra work per effect.
All right, so that's 9 so far, minus the resistance, so that is 7 currently. If you can find a way to give me 2 more work, you will complete.
You have 5 float, literally. You can literally
Holy
roll
crap.
2 and see if you get more effects. You can do piercing for days. Extra work.
So she only has 9 work left to go. So 1 into resistance will give you 2 breakthroughs. You got to find a way to give me 1 more breakthrough.
There's no way to do that. So if she's completed the work track with as it is plus doing the 5,
Yep.
they'll still have to roll again no matter what, because the only way to get the other breakthrough is with triumphant. Unless you spend 2 of that momentum to create the advantage to, you worked extra hard to get the triumphant effect on the extended task.
And I'd take that.
Okay, then let's spend the 2 momentum then.
So Nadon, with the commander's help, you're able to fly through the next 2 areas of your survey, and you get done probably with maybe 3-4 hours to spare. You turn to the commander and say, basically, hey, if we work an extra hour or so, we could get this other one done. And he agrees, and you both go and do the final survey, probably coming into camp to rest for the evening, maybe an hour over the rest, but the survey is complete.
Great.
I believe all is left is to get the medical clinic done.
Yes.
So I would like to spend my determination on the mission directive that potentially our directive is to get this this colony up and going.
Mm-hmm.
And gain the triumphant effect for the doctor that I am pulling some of the extra engineering staff that really don't have anything to do right now because they work really hard through the nights to help carry in supplies and make the workload faster and easier for the doctor.
That works for me.
Well,
So, Doctor, your task is going to be control or presence with your medicine or science. Difficulty. The difficulty is going to be 1 because of the captain's superpower. The work is 10, magnitude 3, resistance 1.
And can I assist with this?
Yes.
I will also use my Christopher Pike medal for the assist that it's an automatic 1.
Okay.
Because I am directing all the different teams.
Yep. That converge on this location. All right, Doc. You have your roll.
yeah. I'm thinking spending my determination on the mission directive for a crit success, since this might be the only chance I have to do that. And then just rolling flat.
Yep. Go ahead.
Let me deselect my focus because I don't think I have any. Yeah, I don't.
That'll be 4 successes. So you get 3 momentum from that. Go ahead and roll 7 challenge dice. Oh, sorry, I forgot the captains. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 float, and then 7 challenge dice.
You have 7 bonus. You have 7 momentum to play with.
Oh wait, wrong button.
So right now you are doing 3 work.
Yeah, no, I'm re-rolling 4 of those challenge dice.
All right, you have 6 float. Oh wow.
It doesn't matter because you got this with the 6 bonus. What's the resistance 2 or 3?
1.
1.
Well, it doesn't matter. All that into extra work.
3. So that'll put you at 9. You would need 1 more.
We'll spend a momentum.
So with completing the work track, with getting a breakthrough, with triumphant, you are able to get 3 magnitudes here. And Doctor, it takes you and your team maybe 10 hours, but you're able to get the medical bay all set up. And with the help of the engineering team hooking up all the biobeds and medical equipment to the power grid, the clinic has been set up in record time. Big shout out to the engineering team today. But evening falls on the camp again, and all of you are in what probably could very easily be the center of town. You know, the town square. There, you set it up so there's a nice little opening in the middle of town, and all of the away team and workers are sitting there having a good time, congratulating each other on a job well done, and I'll open it up for roleplay again.
I'm assuming we're all celebrating, so she kind of stands up and taps will say, can I have everyone's attention, please? As the crowd kind of like settles down, I would like to congratulate everyone. This is the fastest time I think we've ever set up. Well, any ship has set up a preliminary colony, and believe it or not, we have a day spare before the ship actually arrives. So, shore leave for everybody who wish to take it.
And you get the a nice uniform cheer from a lot of the engineering and security personnel down on the planet.
Well, Commander Nidan, how did your little excursion for your survey results on the mineral deposits go?
It went very well, Captain. We had to stay a little longer, but we've got it complete. Thanks to the commander's assistance.
And might I add, the leadership of Lieutenant Nidan.
It's excellent news. I think the miners will look forward to pouring through the data.
Aye, Captain.
I heard a few of you went out camping last night in the actual jungle. How'd it go?
It was excellent, Captain. In fact, if as you mentioned, we're having extended shore leave, I might stay here for a little longer.
Well, we were scheduled to complete this. We were scheduled to complete this within a week, and I think we've made excellent progress. So, plenty of time for some shore leave. Perhaps some field studies for the science teams on the plant and animal life here.
I think that would be both fun and productive, Captain.
Captain kind of gives a nod. Well, I'll leave you to the festivities. I am going to beam back up to the ship. At least one commanding officer needs a presence on the ship. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks, Captain.
And the captain will beam back up to the ship.
All right. All right, as odd as this sounds, we are probably only halfway through what I actually had written for this. So what I think I'm gonna do is, because I know some of you have an earlier time limit, so I think I am going to end the episode here, and we will continue this and add in some of the other stuff you guys want to do next week. Because I have a whole other storyline that's going to happen here. that I didn't even get to touch yet because this one ran a little longer than I expected. So if everyone's okay with that, we'll finish up the colony story next week, or we could try to finish it in an hour and a half. I'll give you guys the option, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna have to go eventually anyway, because my dog's been outside for over 2 hours.
Oh wow.
Because I got involved with the game, and he's also older, not wanting to come in, so I had to solve that. So,
Yeah, so we'll probably go ahead and call this the end of part 1 of New Minerva.
alright.
And
Then
then we'll finish it up
Mhm.